Good evening, ladies and
Hello,
gentlemen.
Mr. Hughes.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Schemmel. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. You?
Well, I am now, I have to say.
Been a little bit
so
better.
my rather late on migraine, I've managed to take some tablets, and it's kind of there. It's kind of there. It's kind
Have
of
you
gone.
curbed it? Have you curbed it?
I think so. Ooh, I'll just turn my headphones down. Turn them back up again.
Hopefully
There
you
we go.
won't get a second wave of it, mate. Hopefully you won't get a second wave.
No. Well, I've got, the good thing is, I've got my juice, so I can keep myself kind of like liquidated,
That's
or
what you
whatever they
need.
call it. And I've got my fizzy pop for later on as well.
Nice,
And then
nice.
I just worked out I haven't got my gin, so I'm going to need to
Oh,
go.
no, you know you're not allowed gin. We're not allowed gin.
But it'll be gone by then, so I'll message someone to go and get me my gin. That'd be great. So yes, so we have a marvellous, this is show number 8. I'm starting to forget
no.
the number of the show.
And me, I'm
So-
doing the exact same thing. Starting to
Yeah.
forget.
So this is show number 8. And I was thinking, actually, it feels like it's been ages since
Oh,
we
it
did
does.
one of these. And then
It
I
was
realised,
because
well,
we-
because it was
yeah.
December, we did it
A week
slightly
early.
didn't we?
Mm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you know what? My OCD is kicking in. You need
Oh.
to twiddle your laptop because your headboard is not straight with your camera the other way.
Oh, mate,
It's
it doesn't
like-
matter.
Do you know? Yeah.
oh.
It's OCD, dude. Seriously.
Don't worry about it. It's doing me head in as it is tonight. I
upset
don't know
me
what's
in a
wrong with
while.
it.
So we've got a great show lined up. We have 2 fantastic acts.
Oh,
we
we
have
have,
the wonderful Steve Bonham from Steve Bonham on the Long Road, a guy who, hopefully won't mind me saying this, has been around for years. He has got umpteen albums. He is very kind of well known throughout the kind of Americana folk kind of bits of country scene as well. Done many festivals, got lots of experience, so very much looking forward to kind of hearing him. And then we have the wonderful folk writing duo,
Yeah.
2K and Ryan.
Kind of taking
who-
the folk scene by storm
Yeah,
at the moment.
that is-
From what
that
I'm
is,
reading
yeah.
and hearing about them. That's a,
Obviously, we're
sounding
going to work out
fantastic.
what they're doing, so we can work out how we do it as well. Yeah,
Mate, I
that's
have
what
no
we're gonna
problems
do.
on the folk scene, you know that. I'm
Well,
up and
yeah.
down the country normally.
You are
I'm still
like
doing it.
you are like a plague of locust. You just descend on everywhere. You just descend on everywhere in a good way. Of course,
I
in a
appreciate
good
it.
way.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a
Yeah.
great show, and I've also got some kind of couple of requests if they will do them. So I'll share them as we go
Ooh.
forward.
Ooh.
Just because I've been listening to some of the music, and there's a couple of songs where I think I really like
I
that.
forgot to put my shirt on. I've just realised. My shirt's over there. Oh,
Go and get it on you.
no, I can't be. I
This
can't
is a
be bothered now.
professional outfit.
No,
So very quickly, quick hellos to
I'm having a bit of death stares, mate.
Spook
'Cause
DeVille, which
all I've
is
done is got
Rog.
Jenny to get me everything, and it's not good.
That's right. Get her running. She's pregnant and she's running around after you. That's not good. That's not good. We have Richard Luca, who is here, I suspect, to see 2K and Ryan. Gregory Schemmel, Sam's
That's my
dad.
daddy-o.
Yeah. And Celine Ellis, who, again, is here to see 2K and Ryan. So we'll balance the books in a little bit. We'll get some people in to listen to Steve as well. It's not a competition, though. We always say that. So let's get straight into it. So
Yeah.
you're going to open the show with a song, and then
Yeah,
once you've done that, we're going to get our acts in, and we're going to start having a bit of a conversation around some of their musical influences, and then we'll get them to do some songs for you. So what are you going to start us off with?
I don't know. I was going to do a song that I haven't sung. I did it the other night, and I hadn't sung it for so long. Actually, last night when we did a little bit of a stream, I haven't done it for so long. And I thought, I might do that tonight.
Is
but then I'm feeling,
Is it the Jessic one?
yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to
do
do
it. Do it.
So I
man.
haven't done this
Do
song. I mean, it's not really. I mean, I suppose it is a little bit of a folk song in the sense of it is a story.
It is, and it's local because it's someone local to you, and it's
Yeah, this is about my best friend.
someone you
and-
know.
And how we kind of met and how it kind of went on. But it's a bit more of an upbeaty song, which is very rare for me because I don't sort of write them sort of songs. But yeah, so this is called Open Stage, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Cool. Take it away.
Okay. Well, it hit me out of nowhere when I first saw Jessie play. And those melancholy songs of hers, well, brightened up my day. 'Cause I was feeling down and out, but so glad I stayed to listen to that girl pour her heart out on the open stage. Well, the next time I saw her, she had a smile upon her face and told me she'd written a new song that she wanted to showcase. Well, I couldn't believe my eyes that that girl was getting unpaid for playing her songs out on the open stage. But Jessie's like a sister, she means the world to me. More than just a friend, she's my family. And wherever life may take her, wherever that may be, Jessie knows she can always depend on me. Well, I hadn't seen her for a while, so I gave her a call. Asked her if she wanted to come out and say those songs some more. But so young and innocent, but older than her age, for playing those love songs on the open stage. Now normally Andy plays a bit of lead in this, so you just got to pretend Andy's doing lead. So 3 years had gone by and we became partners in crime, traveling up and down those roads with now a best friend of mine. But knowing that someday little Jessie would fly away, what I'd give for one more day to see Jessie play on the open stage. 'Cause Jessie's like a sister, she means the world to me. More than just a friend, she's my family. And wherever life may take her, wherever that may be, Jessie knows she can always depend on me. 'Cause Jessie knows she can always depend on me. Jessie knows she can always depend on me. Oh,
very
done.
good, very good.
I haven't sung that song for at least 3 years, and it took me 4 years to write it.
I do like that song. So Sam and I had an evening one time where he came round. Well, I think it might have been an afternoon into an evening.
No, it was. I think we went out for an open mic in Tamworth, and I think we ended up back at yours drinking. We wasn't drink driving at the time, but we ended up having a drink when we got back to Andy's, and
then we sat around with a notepad, and I said, right, come on, we're going to write some songs. You're going to get some songs completed and stuff like that. And so we sat down and we went through this kind of process that I use. So Sam would pick up his guitar and start playing stuff, and I go, put your guitar down, stop playing, let's write. And then he'd go, oh, I've got this idea. And then he'd start playing them all. And I'd go, right, put your guitar down, let's write. But we ended up coming out with 3 songs, didn't you?
Well, we did, yeah. We finished off the Jessie song.
Yeah, they are fantastic.
I think we did that old bench. Finally got that old bench sorted.
That's it.
Because I think I was missing like an extra, I think there was a last verse and a bit of a chorus. Andy kind of wrote a chorus for me, and I was like, oh, and I played around with it and got it how I wanted it. And and then I think we did another song which was a very upbeat for me, which I'm not used. I think we did 2 upbeat and then the old bench, and I haven't played that one yet. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find the words and get the other one on the go.
Right, okay, so obviously it's not us talking all night and singing all night. We've got 2 very special guests for you. Well, 3 actually, so 1 solo artist and a duo. So we'll get them on, and the first thing we'll do is kind of do a bit of chat as to kind of things like musical influences and things like that. If you've seen the show before, this is partly a chat show where we're interested in learning more about the artist's songwriting. What was that?
It's a getting to know them.
so getting to know them, getting to know their kind of background, influences, things like that, and hearing some of their great tunes as well.
Yeah.
So again, do feel free, comment if you've got requests to the artists. You can ask them. It's always their choice to say yes or no, obviously. But do engage with us as well. That'd be great.
Throw some questions out there.
First and foremost, we have Steve Bonham.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to
Hey,
meet you.
Steve.
Very well, very
Hello.
well. And we also have 2K and Ryan.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
Much
So there's
love for you
obviously-
guys at the moment. Much love for you guys at the moment.
Ditto. So yeah,
So
mutual.
there's-
Can't do it. I've never done this
Yeah.
before.
It's when you start doing it upside down, you go, why does that not look right?
Spades. Spades. That's
yeah.
what it is, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. So we're going to have some obvious questions, and probably the most obvious will be, where did the name come from, 2K and Ryan? But not yet. We'll do that in a bit. So first, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us on the show and giving us 2 hours of your time. Fabulous people. So we'll start off, I think, with just a little bit of background to where you're from and kind of what your earliest musical memory is, really. So, as we grow up, we start to become aware of music that our parents play, that our siblings play, or whatever it is, and that kind of starts to feed a bit of an interest. So give us a little bit of background to kind of where you're from and also your earliest kind of real memories of music and thinking, I like this. So we'll start with Steve, and then the next time we ask questions, we'll swap it around and we'll start with 2K and Ryan. So Steve, where you're from, give us a bit of background to you, and then give us your kind of musical memories.
Okay. Well, I'm talking to you from Derbyshire, which has been is the centre of the universe anyway, but just up the road from you guys by the sound of it. I was born here. I'm always surprised to still be here. I was born of a Hampshire father and a Geordie mother, so I guess they compromised somewhere along the way. But I've been lucky enough in my life. I've just always travelled, and this is as good a place to travel from as anyway. And I think in terms of music, earliest, it's always a good question. I've done loads of music over the years. I've been in rock bands. I've been quite a successful folk sort of act in the 80s. We did 3 albums, but I've never been much good at English folk. English folkies tend to touch because my voice is wrong, and I always sound like the American. Anyway, long story short, actually about 10 years ago, I started to think, well, I don't really care if what I sound like. I was going to write and do my own thing. And then people started putting the Americana label on it. And so I thought, I better listen to that a bit more. So I was driving, where you get those bins on the motorway service stations with hundreds of CDs for 50p or something. Like it's a 4D CD set of Americana. 4 CDs of Americana. So I'll buy that then and listen to that. So anyway, I was listening to the car. I knew every song. I mean, literally knew every song on those. And I suddenly realised that's what my mother had used to sing to me when I was a kid. And it had obviously just gone in there and locked itself. And where she got it from, I mean,
So
I don't know, it was the wrong side of the country for the Atlantic, but...
Yeah, was it? So I was going to say, was it American kind of American?
Yeah, I mean,
folk?
it was American folk. It was Woody Guthrie. It was Burl Ives, a long forgotten one. It was, This Land Is Our Land. I just knew them all, and so that must have been, though I'd completely. And I chatted with my brothers. One of them can sort of remember. Yeah, that was what she used to sing. Yeah, where she got them from. This is long gone now, so I've no idea.
It's funny how you kind of hear something, you go, I know it, and I know of it, but I can't quite place. And then you go, do you know what? I reckon that was probably what my parents were playing, and I just subliminally have picked it up somehow. You know.
It wouldn't have been my dad. My dad liked Sibelius very loud, dude. I think he
All right.
yeah.
I'm not getting the classical vibes coming through your music, I have to say. Yeah.
At all. You know, if there weren't
Maybe
50 trumpets in it, it was not interested. It was not going there. So
Yeah. Maybe you can rent the Philharmonic for a bit and do an album. Yeah.
the earliest record I can hear as a result of that earliest record was a record he had of the Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture with real cannons.
Is that the
Real cannons?
Is that kind of one?
That is the one under there.
Yeah, I was
Used
gonna
to
say.
lie on the floor list.
Yeah. They did say that if was it Baroque music? They said Baroque music is timed at 60 beats a minute or something. And
Yeah.
there was some weird thing where our bodies kind of almost function on a frequency of 60 beats per minute.
Well, you say
So
that
if
very,
you
very
wanted to-
quickly. Americans do the exact same thing actually with their tunings, you know. Because actually we tune it at 4/4, whatever it is, but America tune it at 3,
Fourth,
4/3,
yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Which actually
Yeah.
apparently meant to resonate a little bit better with the heart.
It
or
explains a lot why I
Yeah.
couldn't play some of the songs I was listening to. I was thinking, why can't I get it? You know, guitar's out of tune. But the Baroque music is supposed to... So if you wanted to study something, so you were doing exams or something like that, they would say to you, play Baroque music because it keeps your brain alert and it keeps you... So I tried it. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Well,
work.
you know,
It's
old
it's
Bach, he
rubbish.
had some great bass lines. Tremendous, tremendous
Well,
bass lines.
You look at
He'd
some
have
of the
been a
rock
heavy
tunes.
metal. I swear, he'd have been a heavy metal bass player if he'd been born in the last 50 years.
Well, that's what I was saying. You look at some of the rock stuff and the influences that have come from some of his kind of, again, subliminal melody, you know. Right, okay, so well done. So a Derbyshire folk, I'm just south of Derbyshire, so literally just off that there's a tiny little point at the bottom of Derbyshire.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
And I kind of literally just drop off of that. So if I go about 8 miles in any direction, I'm either in Leicestershire, Staffordshire, Derbyshire, or kind of West Midlands. It's
So
bonkers.
Ashby, are you around?
That
Yeah,
sort of
Ashby.
way. I suppose I can't give out my address because I'll get stalkers.
No, Ashby.
I mean,
Well, I always love because there's a song, Ashby de la Zouche, is right in the middle of the UK. And there's an American song, it makes me a lump in my throat, called Ashby de la Zouche by the Sea. I swear it's there. You go on the internet and look up Ashby de la Zouche by the Sea, and it was written by a pilot. And by the time he taken off and looked out the window, of course he was over the sea on his way to Germany, and he presumed Ashby de la Zouche was by the sea.
How strange is that? You can't get much further from the sea in England.
No, you can't.
Really. Okay, 2K Ryan, give us a bit of background. Where are you from? And kind of those first memories of listening to music and thinking, yes, I like that.
I come from Wales. I come from Aberystwyth. The Welsh accent is gone. That's the drama degree. But yes, I grew up in Wales and did a lot of singing in kind of choirs, funnily enough, a Welsh tradition. And musical theatre is actually my background in music until I moved to Northamptonshire kind of quite a few years ago now. But I remember my earliest memories of music are my mum playing Carly Simon a lot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
My dad, anything from the Beatles to Elton John to classical as well, Steve, so I get that. Mum was more of a classical person because my grandpa had been a lot, so we had a lot of different Rachmaninoff, Vivaldi, all kinds of different stuff playing in our house. But yeah, so music was a big part of my childhood in that sense as well.
Okay. Cool. I do
for
like.
me-
So Aberystwyth is
sorry.
that's the bottom end of Wales, isn't it? Southern Wales, that is.
Middle. It's exactly middle left, so middle coast.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So it's right on the edge, right in the middle between north and south. So it's kind of dead centre, in the edge
So
of
where's
Wales.
it's close to the Brecons, isn't it?
Fairly close, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask me any geography questions, Andy. I'm totally rubbish.
No, it's only because I remember. So I used to run a training function where we used to take all the graduates and apprentices out to do stuff around the Brecons, and I'm sure we used to give them their own budget, and we used to say you've got to buy all your food and stuff like that for the week. It was a disaster, but they learned. But I'm sure we used to take them shopping in Aberystwyth, and I'm sure it wasn't that far away from the Brecons. It just brings back memories. Yeah,
Oh, lovely.
lovely part of the country. Not quite Northampton, but it's
Well, no.
it's a lovely part of the country. So when I first saw your name, I thought I don't know why I thought this. I thought you as a female was called the 2K, and then you as the chap was called Ryan. And then it was only when we started to look at the kind of profiles on Facebook and things like that I thought I've got it all wrong. It's
common.
Ash has
Quite
got the
a lot.
2K bit in the middle. Yeah, I
We
bet.
even had our business cards with a picture on it, and Rebecca was above 2K on the picture, just happened to be that way round, and I was on the Ryan, and that all the more added to the confusion. But yeah, it's Rebecca Ryan and
Yeah.
Ash 2K. So
Right.
together we are
2K and Ryan. You're
So
right.
what is the 2K? Where's that come from then?
Go on, Ash.
It's a nickname. Basically, in the year 2000, funnily enough, I wrote a CD for an old friend. And on the CD, I had written whatever it was, and I just put A2K. As in Ash
okay.
and the year
Okay.
2K.
Yeah.
And he was like, Ash 2K, he would say every time he saw me. And then it became, hey, 2K, you know. So when it came to decide what I was going to use as a pseudonym, and for our business, which came later, 2K Records, we thought it was quite spelling it in that way as a name rather than a number was quite distinctive. So if you search for 2K, you pretty much find us.
Right.
You know, so
well, yeah,
it sort
yeah,
of
fair
stuck.
play, fair play. So are you? So I'm guessing, obviously, as Rebecca's in Northampton, you're sitting next to her, so you must be in real Northampton as well.
Yeah,
Um,
we're a bubble as such. So I'm actually living, I have been living in Rebecca's house for pretty much the last year, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. Are we
so that
we
can
breaking
do
up someone
music
else's
and
marriage,
such.
or are we just like, is this just a friendly thing?
It's a friendship, yeah.
we're
No.
both
Yeah.
both single.
We hate each other, really.
yeah.
I'm sorry, no, we
Love
don't hate each other.
Love
Yeah.
hate love. One or the other. 50-50.
We're lucky, we're best mates, and it's worked, and it's just been great being able to be in the same house because we're able to do things like this, which we wouldn't be able to do if Ash was living in Stoke Bruin.
Yeah,
So
of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're not in Northampton, you are where?
Well, Stoke Bruin, I'm originally from, next to the
okay.
Grand Union Canal. So basically, I come from the longest lineage of licensee in the country. So my family business is a pub, restaurant, and a narrowboat cruises as well. The Boat Inn in Stoke Bruin. So I actually live in the pub.
That's
in,
almost a
in
dream
sort of-
for
I
me.
know.
Yeah, it has its pros and cons, I can assure you.
I've always wanted to live on a boat.
We ignore
Yeah.
the
Hiring any.
cons. We ignore the cons and pretend the pros outweigh it. That's it.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, no, it's a great place, very peaceful, very beautiful, very picturesque. Even if you don't get out of the village much, there's such a tourist draw from people all over the world. So being the sort of central hub of the village and this big tourist area, you get to meet people from all over the world, or I have done, quite significant people as well, because it's sort of like if you're going to Stoke Bruin, you need to go to this place. It's the
I must have
famous,
passed
you know.
through there. I must have,
Yeah.
because I did so many canal holidays. I must have passed through there at some
Oh,
point.
actually,
I was
remember
probably
you,
wrecked.
guy.
But, as you do, but yeah,
I've been meaning
because
to
I was probably about
apologise.
17, 18 at the time. So I think we spent most of our days pickled. It was just like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's your earliest memories of music then? What was the kind of influences that you kind of first felt?
Well, funnily enough, they used to run a music festival, an annual music festival at the Boat Inn to raise money for sort of local children's charities, often for the general hospital. But anyway, they used to get loads of bands all the way through the day for this charitable cause. And I think this was going for about 10 years when I was probably, I don't know, 12 or something. I can't remember when it stopped, but the guy who was running it, unfortunately, he got his health wasn't so great, so he had to stop doing it in the end. But this was going on from quite a young age, and I always remember because I'd started having an enthusiasm for writing songs and singing before I could play any instrument, and had written a song. And at one of these music festivals, I was sort of incentivized by my family and friends to get up and sing it. So this was a big inspiration for me getting into music more so, I think. And yeah,
What about artists, though? That
artists.
influence you?
To be honest, I've got so many influences. But the earliest stuff that I remember listening to was my mum's music collection. It was often things like R.E.M., Phil Collins, and believe it or not, Enya.
Should
which
have got
is what I
on well
always
with me
sing.
dad. That was sort of Meatloaf, Phil Collins, Genesis,
Yeah.
all that sort of. Yeah.
But my mum is a big enthusiast for popular music, and even today she's like, she loves to sing, you know, like Knowles Barkley, Crazy, and even I'm sure more modern stuff than that, though we haven't really managed to have a musical chat in quite a while. But yeah, so she had a good CD collection, and I would often just flick through it on the CD player and go, yeah, like that, listen to that, you know. But Phil Collins, Enya was a big part, I think. There was something ethereal about Enya that I really loved,
definitely,
and I, even today, I want that epic bit in the song.
You
where
kind of
really,
go when Orinoco Flow came out, you went, there is nothing else like that.
Yeah.
And there has been
My-
nothing else like it, I think, since.
My favourite's Caribbean Blue.
Oh yeah,
Right.
nice song.
You just, and it's a bit like when Mike Oldfield did Tubular Bells as well. You kind of went, it's just, there's just something unique about it. It's just epic.
Yeah.
And those things, I think, stand the test of time. In fact, I'm surprised we don't hear it still more often.
Yeah.
You know, even on things like films and soundtrack and stuff like that, because it's such a cool style as well, you know. Right. Okay.
Should we get them playing, Andy?
No. We won't, we're not. Yes, we
I
shall.
love that song that you played, by the way, in the
Yes,
intro. I
Yeah.
thought I could hear strings all over it.
Well,
And
it was weird because literally, my best friend Jessie, who we travelled, you know, since I've known Jessie, we've travelled up and down the country together, playing folk clubs and gigs and festivals and whatever. And she was really upset one week, and I kind of, I come back to the week after. I've written a verse and I've written two verses, and then that was it. I kind of like never did anything with it, and it was just always one of them sort of songs that was just like was probably never ever going to go anywhere. But yeah, I'm happy with it now. It's a bit of fun and just
It's
a little
great.
bit of laugh.
I
Great
think it's
song.
just a really nice sentiment in it. It was like, oh, this is good. And as I say,
Oh,
you can
thank
hear
you.
just real subtle instrumentation behind it to back it up. But yeah, it was great. Loved it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't
There
do
you go.
many upbeat songs. I really don't.
It's fine. I like it. If you're doing like,
Again,
if
you
that's what you're
should.
doing, I'll keep doing it. I like it.
Yeah, thank
There you
you.
go. See, I told you. Right. Okay. So we will hand over and do some songs. So what we'll do is we will drop three of us into the background. So Steve, if you go first. So Steve will do two songs for you. He will introduce the songs, tell us what he wants to about the songs, and then as soon as he is done, we will then drop him out and we'll bring 2K and Ryan on, and you folks will do the same thing. Two songs, introduce the songs, tell us about them, and then after that we'll chat some more.
Yeah,
Okay.
awesome.
So I shall just start removing us. So Steve, the floor will be yours. Two songs, and
Thank
then
you.
we'll just swap you straight over. So it will be
Okay.
a bit of an abrupt switch over, but apologies.
Don't worry,
I'm
that works for
apologising
me.
now. The floor's all yours.
Thank you very much. Well, here we go. This is the first song. This is a song I wrote way back. It's a song about, we're set in London, and it's a song about conversations and why talking to each other might be the healthiest thing we can do. And increasingly, as I get stricken in years, I think it's talking to each other that seems to be disappearing. And so this song is called London Midnight Talking. It's London Midnight Talking, where teams are taught and sold. And I felt a land against me as we struggled through the cold. And the master words were silent, watched her lips still shape a name. Somewhere in the deeper seas, we're just just another game. Do not believe in anything, mostly I'm and me. Qui sais-je, qui sais-je, and there's nothing that's worth fighting for, as far as I can see. Qui sais-je, qui sais-je, and the lonesome is lingered o'er the old serpentine. Stars hung bravely like bold celandine. She summons up old ghosts, no will to hide away. The words still lingered like a spell at the dawning of the day. It's London midnight talking, a time of tumbling leaves, the shadows and the dancers, the murmuring of thieves. Those words were like Toledo steel, cut me to the bone. But there's kindness in her soft blue eyes that break a heart of stone. And I do not believe in anything, mostly I'm and me. Qui sais-je, qui sais-je, and there's nothing that's worth fighting for, as far as I can see. Qui sais-je, qui sais-je, the Chelsea, a breeze across the Thames, red dress, dark hair, we circle round again. One more for the road to set the night alight. A single word and she was gone. What's the taxi's fading lights? It's a London midnight talking, where dreams are bought and sold. And I felt her lean against me as we struggled through the cold. It's a London midnight talking, a time of tumbling leaves, the shadows and the dancers, the murmuring of thieves. It's London midnight talking. That was London Midnight Talking. Take a sup of the wonderful tea juice. The next song is a lot of my songs are about America, and the way I like to write songs is getting out on the road. So I'm not much good at writing songs in the kitchen basics. You might even hear him in the background. I've got a young dog who tends to join in if I try, or in the attic because I don't have an attic. No, my way of writing songs is to get out on the trail, and I've trekked through many of the southern states of America, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, over into New Mexico, and also through Morocco and stuff like that. And just the accidental meetings you have with people and places, that just, for me anyway, they give me so much to write about. It's worked for me over the years, and it's what I write my books about, and it's what I write my songs about. But this next song. When I was a little boy, I was born in Derby, as I said, in a terraced house on the back streets, and I don't remember it being in colour. And my biggest memory of Derby in those days was smog, and it being in black and white. And then one day, my parents bought a television, and even though the television was in black and white, it was colour that came out. It was a Dick Van Dyke show and the High Chaparral. And the first person I ever fell in love with was Sam out of Bewitched. And all of a sudden there was this other world in my head. And I've always been deeply impressed and horrified by Americana in a lot of my songs. But this is a love song to Americana. It's just imagining a couple heading out on a long road, just driving across America, and in writing it, I also, someone bet with me I couldn't put the word Studbacker, which is a particularly clapped out old American song, clapped out old car in a song. Well, nah, I did. So this song's called Riding the Road. In a Studbacker 61, that smelt of oil and rust, beat a old convertible whose soul is made of rust. Rise Jenny and her lover, laughing as they're chasing trains, got his foot down hard, going like a hurricane. Headed down the lonesome way, the road that never ends, across the heart of America, spirit comprehends. The river and the old state line, the prairie and the plain, highway of forgotten ones, won't come here again. Riding on the road that never ends. We're riding on the road that never ends. From a stop a long way back, still lingers on his tongue the bitter taste of coffee, he's humming a Bob Dylan song. Country boy is picking out where the rebel soul begins, thinking if it all comes down it would not be a sin. Behind the car the blue stem grass is dancing in the haze, swaying to the rhythm of passing of the days. Remembers the man who told her once, this moment's all you've got, no point here a longing for things that you have not. Riding on the road that never ends. We're riding on the road that never ends. In a homemade dress, cotton flowers in the wind, says, babe, you're looking fine. She's turned to him and grinned. He can't help noticing on the curve of her sweet breast, drop of beer still lingered there at rest. He's thinking they should stop sometime, for the shadows turn to gold, make love under the shooting stars, for the night grows cold. So little lad encircles her, from this place she's drawn. It would be the sweetest thing, wake with her at dawn. Riding on the road that never ends. We're riding on the road that never ends. Later under the tree of night, as the stars dance their pavan, running from an eastern light in the wake of a caravan. Somewhere in the inky dark, prairie dog he makes his move, Is he just a punk on fire with someone left to prove? Jimmy's curse, he sometimes thinks, keep looking for the grail. There's dollars in his old blue jeans, of freedom kind of frail. Flew across the universe, two birds that won't get caught. He might be the rocket man, she's the astronaut, riding on the road that never ends. We're riding on the road that never ends. We're riding on the road that never ends. We're riding on the road that never ends.
Fantastic job. Well done there, Steve. Great. Two great tracks, two very different tracks as well. We shall talk about those when we come back on. For now, I shall just surreptitiously drop you into the background, and I'll bring 2K and Ryan forward. So well done. Right. The floor is yours. Okay. So two songs, introduce them, and we shall see you after you've done your two songs.
Cheers, Andy. Hey guys, it's lovely to be here. We're going to do two for you now. Do you want to introduce the first one?
Yeah, the first one we are doing is called Get What You Get. And to sum up what this song is about, I would say it's about being the master of your own destiny, and also being aware of how different behaviours of people can affect other people, and obviously it's up to us to choose how we behave, either choice in it. Therefore, in life, you get what you get. What you put out is what comes back to you, which I'm pretty chuffed with the way I explained that just then, because that was off the cuff.
I thought I passed the buck for that one.
I don't know what it's about. We just wrote it. And
It's not true.
so,
Here we
go for
Let's
it?
go for it, actually.
Okay. When your life's in pieces, what do you get? Could this be the right time for you to forget? Take a look. Try and get that right. I'm going to start again, sorry. It's the nerves, it's such a big deal.
Get on with it.
When your life's in pieces, what do you get? Could this be the right time for you to forget? Looking back on a time when it hadn't begun. It's the same old story when you're up and run, but you're waiting. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You're waiting. What are you waiting for? You're waiting. Ooh, you're waiting. What are you waiting for? Don't spend all your time looking around when you keep finding reasons to put others down. Take a look at yourself, 'cause that's the key to open up a world of possibilities. But you're waiting. You're waiting. What are you waiting for? You're waiting. Ooh, you're waiting. What are you waiting for? Maybe you should take a shot in the dark. It only matters that you make a start. You can do anything you want to, but can you find the time to see it through? Ooh, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-bop, scoo-ba-ba-dee-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da, scoo-ba-ba-dee-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da, scoo-ba-ba-dee-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Many words you've been throwing around with no consideration for how they might sound. They cut like a knife and leave emotional scars. You walk away 'cause that's the way you are, and you're waiting. You're waiting. What are you waiting for? Still waiting. Ooh, you're waiting. What are you waiting for? All you need is some people around. Use your voice and you can make a sound. Make the moment words that you'll never forget. 'Cause life's what you make it, you get what you get. Get what you get, you 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 get what you get. You get out of life for what you put in. Procrastination should be a sin. So find your purpose and spread it around with a sense of direction. The meaning is found, so no more waiting. No longer waiting, no longer waiting for, no more waiting. Ooh, no longer waiting, no longer waiting for.
Don't normally forget the words in that
Yeah,
one.
I'm sorry about that. It was one of them mind fart moments
Mind
where you
fart.
trip up and then you're like, "Don't do it now, we're live," and then you do it again. But thank God we're a duo.
Yes,
'cause,
it has its
you have
uses.
somebody to remind you of the lyrics that you actually wrote.
You have
slash
that
are
moment of
supposed to
fear
sing.
though when the other person forgets them. You're like, oh my God, can I remember them?
Hope I can't see I'm red in the face.
Awkward.
Awkward.
Anyway, our second song.
Which
one of the
Rebecca
first
takes
songs-
the lead on. Thank God.
I'm going to forget the words. No, I'm not. The second song is one of the first ones we wrote together, actually. We've been writing together for about 2.5 years now, so just under, actually. So, yeah, this is a song called Fateless Bend. It's about communication in relationships and how it can break down, but that's okay, that there are other things around the corner, even if it's not with that current relationship. There is hope for the future. Here we go. Fateless Bend.
Oops.
The way you act is to me like silent torture. You speak your words, but they're absent of all substance. Just because you repeat doesn't make them ring true. The loop remains the same. It's a pastime for me and you. Feelings and emotions, here still they remain. The situation's changed, but we will find a way to give our love again. We will find a way to give our love again. Communication's being lost in a haze of your creation. I can see no way back when there's no consideration. The truth has been lost, now it's far in the distance. Hard to remember the past, separation lies between our hearts. Feelings and emotions, here still they remain. The situation's changed, but we will find a way to give our love again. We will find a way to give our love again. As
As we gaze at our reflection, the image reveals the truth. All that was hidden before now repose on the water. Almost seen for just a moment, appearing before our eyes. A whisper in the corner, a silence in the cries. These shoes are so worn, they don't fit anymore. This toil brings a wisdom that beckons at my core, fulfilling the role for which I was destined. No longer chained by the shackles of expectation. Feelings and emotions, here still they remain. The situation's changed, but we will find a way to give our love again. We will find a way to give our love again. Warmth builds again, awareness found in small moments. What's absence between friends, a mended bridge and a fateless bend. A mended bridge and a fateless bend. A mended bridge and a fateless bend.
Well done, guys. That was great. That was
Fantastic.
really, really good. Really lovely.
Thank you. Nice one, Steve, by the way.
Yeah. Cheers to Steve. That was really
Yeah,
good.
two
Just
great songs there, Steve.
Yeah, really
Very
enjoyed it.
quick questions. This is from a guitar geek. Steve, what guitar are you playing? Because it sounds very kind of ragtime, honky tonk.
That one I was playing before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds very posh, but it's what I had made for me
Okay.
Oh,
by a
That's
luthier
posh.
up in Derbyshire. And it's lovely. Yeah, it's quite small, isn't it?
It's got
If you-
a sound.
You guys,
like
you're a bit younger than me. When you get older, you'll find you've got a worn fifth vertebrae, and those big fat jumbos don't do it for you anymore.
I'm still getting me a Gibson SJ200 when I can,
that's why
even
I
if
still
I've got
love
to sit in my
0080.
wheelchair with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play that one again later, but it really is great for picking, you know.
Sounds great. Well, just the tone on it. It's
Oh,
got
yeah.
that real bright ring on it. It's
Yeah.
classic of the old blues kind of, and the old kind of early honky tonk Jimmy Rogers style playing and stuff as well.
It's sort
It's
of-
really good.
It takes a
And
lot of
also,
abuse.
likewise, Ryan. What? I'm doing it already. Ash. Yeah. The guitar you were playing sounds gorgeous. What is it?
I'm sure
What
that
is
was
it?
Ryan, Andy, that was playing, wasn't it, Ryan?
Don't
I'll
start.
take the credit if you want.
Yeah. What were you just playing? You were just playing a guitar then that sounded
an
gorgeous.
organ.
That one. It's a
Oh, lovely guitars.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. okay.
it's
Oh,
actually
really nice.
one of the more affordable
Okay.
organs.
What's the wood on it?
Just fantastic guitar.
What's the what on it, Sam?
What's the wood on it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Andy.
Do you know what? I can't
It's
remember.
mahogany.
Yeah, somebody said mahogany,
Mahogany,
but
I
I'm
think.
sure there's cedar in there somewhere. Probably.
I was going to say the top looks like it's cedar colour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So somebody said mahogany
Sounds
there, and I'm
gorgeous.
pretty sure it was cedar. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
the Neo Colton or Colton Neo, depending on how you say it. So it's there's sort of not so much lacquered finish. It's quite natural. It's supposed to wear as you play it more. around
yeah,
here,
yeah.
so it gets character and things. But they generally make them to be like as little holes in them as possible. So all of the circuitry is just
Projection
inside
and
the
that
sound
comes
hole
out.
here. I don't know if you
They
can
do
see
a
it. from there.
fantastic parlour version. They do a
Yeah.
Auden do an absolute lovely. I just brought, swapped actually for my 0018, and I was almost going to buy the parlour.
Yeah.
Auden. It was just
Well,
so
I
good.
always love this shape, the Dreadnought. It just has a sound that I really like. But yeah, this one just spoke to us in a way. It was something that was in our price range, and
Yeah.
obviously it's
Fortunately.
a local company to
Yeah.
us. And we're
Yeah.
hoping if we mention them enough, Auden,
They'll
that
make
they
us
might
one.
make
Yeah.
me a guitar.
That's right, yeah, that would be cool.
And also,
Do you
what
know
you were
what?
saying earlier, Andy, it's tuned to 432. We play in 432. We do all
Yeah.
of our stuff
Yeah.
in 432.
Okay.
It's the love frequency.
As it
Yeah.
were.
I don't
That's
know.
right.
If
Right.
I was just saying that. I don't know.
I do think, I mean, I've got mine tuned in standard kind of tuning for here, but actually I probably should tune it to the kind of American style, just because I'm
It does
now
sound warmer, Andy.
kind of
I
30
used to
odd
do
years
that.
older.
I used to do
Yeah.
that years ago on my bigger guitars. But
The thing is,
Well-
so many. Sorry.
I was just going to say, the trouble is, I end up now, because I'm 30 years older, I end up sounding like I'm squealing like a pig when I try and do the original songs in G and stuff, so it's never great.
he's not lying. He's not lying.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Thanks.
But no, the
Sorry,
reason
what
why
were
I
you
used
gonna
to do
say,
it,
Ash?
I was going to
What
say, the
were you
reason why I used to tune into 342 is because it mean no one else could play along with me. It's like, you
It's
get
true,
it, you
until-
play like
until they
no, don't.
try. Yeah, and then they wouldn't know. They go, "What's wrong? I've just tuned my guitar and it doesn't sound right." It's like,
Yeah.
but I was saying people experiment. There's a war, I would say, online if you mention 432. So,
Yeah.
432. It's only about 8 cents difference. But you think people experiment all the time with different tunings, dad,
Yeah.
and whatever. Why
Hmm.
are you restricting yourself to the diatonic scale? Why not actually, like you say, because it's less string tension on a guitar.
That's
particularly.
right.
So it means, it is going to sound potentially warmer, richer. Jimi Hendrix, I think, was known for dropping his guitar to D, I think. Or
Yeah,
at
that's
least,
right, yeah.
so
Right.
that it sat better in his vocal range. So we
Yeah.
do it, we try it. We tried it originally with 432 and we got a really positive response. And obviously it's really hard to quantify because once somebody's heard your song, whether it's diatonically tuned or not, they could just go, I like the song or I don't. But we've just felt that it had more of an effect on people, so we thought, well, we'll keep doing it until there's a good reason
So
not
let me-
to.
Like a charm.
Before I forget, let me say I was listening to your Spotify. So if there's a chance that you can do these, it would be fantastic. So
No
I
pressure.
really like Echo,
Oh,
and I really like A Little Time,
Mhm.
and the other one I really like
It's weird because I was going to ask for Echo.
is Fateless Bend. Fateless Bend.
We
we
just
just
did that one, yeah.
That was that one.
that was
Yeah,
quite
the
inspiring,
thing
yeah.
is on the recording, it's much faster, and then in sort of looking back at it now, I'm like, it's too fast.
I was
And
gonna say,
so
it
anyway, we
sounded
play it a lot
different.
slower, so that may be misleading slightly.
Okay.
Or
Well,
you went for a
certainly-
wee, Andy, when we were playing it, which is fine.
I did. Do you know what? I had to get up and go and refill my juice. So when you
You
mentioned
can't
the
get
title,
gin, that's what it was.
I've written down notes on it, and I thought I haven't got the title to that one. That'll be why. Otherwise, I would have got it. So if you can,
We'll definitely-
Echo
we'll definitely
or
do
A
at
Little
least one of
Time
those.
would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we'll put one of those in at least. For
That'd
sure.
be fantastic.
You've
And
actually
then I
got them
shall
out
do
to
the
play it.
same with Mr. Bonham in a minute. Although he's got many, many more songs and albums, so
Yeah,
what you'll find is he'll go, I can't even remember that one. It's like 20 years ago or something.
You wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
Andy's
I
getting to
think.
that point
Yeah.
now. He's writing about 100 a day, and they say to Andy, "Oh, can you play that one?" He's like,
Well, you
The
know
trouble
it's
is, I'm
you
not-
know it's
I-
it's going
I'm
wrong.
fairly musically ignorant, so I actually don't know what I'm playing when I'm playing it. So remembering it then is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
As
When
you'll see
you'll
later.
find you're writing too many songs. When you write a song and then you find another song you've written, then they're almost identical. You go, how did that happen? That's weird. So just a couple of things from I like when you talked about having a mind fart
Oh yeah.
And
get
then
them all
Richard
done.
Hamilton put in there, I have a book about travelling through Germany. It's called Mind Fart. Yeah, which you know. So Ash, did you mean I had my father, or is that just a close link? Yeah, because that's what it means in
close link.
German.
My
I
dad
think.
can be a bit of a mind fart. I suppose. So, both. You know, I mean, either way.
Yeah.
I will laugh if this is the one time he's watching it.
Yeah.
And call your
Hi,
dad.
Dad.
a fart.
That's
Just
it,
kidding.
Yeah, didn't mean it.
You know, I
yeah.
love you.
And Mark Bevan was saying the nodding dog loved it. So
No,
I'm
No, I
trying to
saw
think-
that, and I was gonna say-
Ash does this.
It's when
Oh, okay.
I was too
Okay.
distracted and forgetting the words, obviously, to our own song, and
Yeah.
so I had to not look at the screen, and often I do this, so I get into it, and I tend to
Yeah.
have my sort of own body rhythm that I.
Adopt.
The
best of it is
particularly
like-
with my head.
None of us ever really realised this until we actually got onto this platform, right? And you see things, and you know when you do that, like you see that thing when they go like that. That's
Yeah.
what I do. I do the whole. What the hell's that all about?
So if you've just joined us,
So yeah, it's just like, shoo-doo-doo.
What was
it's
it?
like, dun, dun.
It is. My eyes just go.
I get my kids randomly coming into the shop going, "Can you order me a chicken and chips or a kebab from the takeaway?" I'm like, "Dude,
Andy
seriously, I'm
was-
streaming."
I'm going to say it because it's so funny. Andy was doing a gig live from his house in his room, in his little studio room, and his son come in. Andy went, "What do you want?" He went, "You play them shit songs." Do you remember? And he goes, "I'm bloody. How the hell?"
We're
He
live.
kept himself
Yeah.
composed. I would have gone up and whooped his ass.
My usual response is pick a window. Yeah. You're leaving through it.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. It was
right,
like,
okay. So let's bring it back to a bit of
Sorry,
kind of
normality.
senility.
Yeah.
So Sam, ask some questions.
okay, so I think the next question we're going to ask is, obviously we're all songwriters here. What song did you hear that made you realise, you know what, that this is what I want to be doing? This is the sort of stuff I want to be playing and singing and writing about. So we'll go to 2K this time, and then we'll go to Steve afterwards.
Me.
Yeah,
Um,
and Ryan obviously, and Ryan.
Thanks, cheers. Go on, Ash. Keep it short.
Do you know, I always struggle on these questions. Like,
Well, I think-
I wish I had more time prior.
That's only because she's known you for 2 years. She can now say that. Keep it short. I like that. That's when you know someone well.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, there doesn't have to be one song. There might be multiple songs, but
Well, to be honest, I was going to say, like, I know it's a bit obscure, possibly compared to what we're doing now, but when I was younger, I wanted to be Michael Jackson, and that radically changed. You know, when I started to play instruments and stuff. But I can't really think of an artist particularly that. I mean, there's artists I love, but it's music itself. It's the hearing a song where it just has a collection of frequencies, and obviously I progressed into production, so maybe that has some sort of relationship with that, but that just sends shivers down your spine, and you just love. It's like that Enya thing, and that epic part that just has something about.
So
it.
if somebody
And I think
said to
that's-
you, "You've got one song that
Yeah.
forget who wrote it, you can have it. It would be the song that you wrote." Would you have one? You go, it would probably be this one.
that kind
I
of already
think
happened
there's
to
too
me.
many to pick one. To be honest, so many good songs. I mean, looking back to that Enya thing again, I mean that's stuck with me. I think is particularly Caribbean Blue, about the flow of the song and the way that it is, and it's so radically different, I say, to what we do, kind of, and to a lot of mainstream popular music today. But again, for me, that song has that collection of frequencies.
It's always the one it comes back to when you get asked this type of question. That's always the one you come back to.
Yeah.
So that is the
Right.
But later on, it's like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Incubus and Rage Against the Machine, and
slightly different to
yeah,
Enya.
very rocky in your face impact.
Okay, so very, very quickly then, let's change it slightly. So when was the point? Because for me, obviously, I mean, I'm in my late 30s now. So, I mean, I went through, old school dance trance music to to sort of rock and System of the Down, and then I kind of went to sort of 80s classics, and then kind of fell into the folky genre. So when did you kind of fall into, the folky? When did you kind of click and go, you know what, actually, this is the cyberstyle that we want to do? Does that make sense?
To be honest, I would say it's, I would say it's pretty much when me and Rebecca started working together. She worked with Tim John Brophy, a mutual friend of ours, on his album doing backing vocals, and we got on really well. And I said, look, I've got all these unfinished ideas with no lyrics to them. If you want to do some lyrics to them, we'll record them. It's good, we'll stick it out there as a mutual collab. And shortly later we decided to start writing together, and I think Echo
was the first song
that we wrote. And it was just coming up with riffs or something that I thought would be appropriate for both of us, basically, based on her voice and mine, and something that was a little bit different. So actually, particularly folk and country has been since we started working together.
And we wrote, it's one of those, we wrote it at 3 a.m. It was one of those, the joy of knowing musicians and being musicians, and it was literally one of those late night, it just came, it was, I think the moment...
I'd come up with the initial...
Yeah, you'd come up with the riff, or the
guitar sequence, and said, Rebecca, if this has the right lyric on it, this is going to be great. But it's just something about it. Really simple, not really hard to play, but something slightly interesting about the way
I
it's
would
played.
say one of the things that I suppose stuck out to me when I was listening through your Spotify is the arrangement of the tracks, the kind of production of the tracks is quite varied, and it makes for great listening. Because what you find, I always say this, when I listen to a Passenger album, and I love Passenger.
Don't you say anything bad about Passenger.
Careful. You find that there's a similarity to it as you go through the album.
Yeah.
Whereas the thing I liked when I was listening to yours is there's a nice variance of production as well, which kind of makes it interesting to listen to as well.
I think that's
so you
what
don't
we
kind
haven't
of
really
listen to
figured
two
out
tracks.
as well.
Say again.
I think that's why we haven't, we obviously it's hard for any artist to pigeonhole what genre they're in, because it's like, well, I'm mainly this, but I sort of do some of that as well. And I think for us, we've almost said, can you say eclectic as a genre?
Yeah.
Because it's...
Until you try and put something on Spotify and then it's not
Yeah.
there. And you're like,
they don't have eclectic.
I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose. Yeah.
But alternative folk is what we kind of, if we had to pigeon ourselves, we'd probably say that, because it kind of is quite wide. It's interesting, because Steve is obviously saying he's had so much history of different genres that he's played, and then settled on folk, didn't you? You did say that, Steve, didn't you? I have heard that.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, I was just thinking, because this is. I mean, all roads lead to this conversation in a sense about what we do musically, And I think most songwriters I know hate to be pigeonholed, and
I agree.
we've still got in the legacy of an industry that needs to pigeonhole you. And my mate Chris, I work with, says this is all the fault of the old LP racks, where they used to have 2,000 LPs and they had to put them somewhere in a store.
Yeah.
So I've come out with this word. I call what we all do, I call it artisan music.
Nice.
And that means, artisan means we're writing about things we know and experience. We've had to develop a craft. We've had to learn how to play these things and do that. And we're telling stories. We're telling the extraordinary stories of ordinary people. And I've actually just got a bit of funding from the Arts Council to run a festival of artisan music.
Amazing.
Which say, like, what binds you and me and all us guys here to a blues player in the southern states, to a Romanian clog dancer or something, is bigger than what connects us to, I don't know, mass-produced music that's on machines somewhere in a factory. So but I can bore for England on this particular topic, But it is horrible how you. So we've been called everything. I've tried everything over the years. I've tried alternative folk, Anglo-Americana. The States is different. I tour a bit in the States, and they are so much more chilled about this. It's just all singer-songwriter,
Yeah,
even as
that's
five
what I
of
like
us,
about it.
Yeah.
and they don't get stressed about it.
I would love to be pigeonholed in the country genre, but they just don't want me. It's just
I don't know how they don't, mate. Bloody hell, after that song. Andy, everybody,
no,
Andy
you
sent
can't
me.
be, I think, artistically you're dead if you start following other people's rules.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
that's so, ignore them. It's
So
a
Steve,
country
was there a
song.
sort
It's
of
got to have
point in-
1, 3, 5 and a minor shoved in there somewhere. It don't go there.
Steve, was there a point then in your life where you thought, this is, there was a writer to you that you thought, you know what, I love this style and this is what I kind of want to do, or is it just you just do what you do and?
Well, no, I think there's a number of things which I won't go through, but take too long. But I have always needed to find some creative outlet, and something like drawing. Well, I still draw people as potatoes with sticky legs on. It's not improved since I was 5.
Can you teach me how to do that? I'm having a child.
But I did know early on I could do things with words. I just felt that, and so I had to find a way. And I just loved, I think, with my mum singing to me all the time. It's what I wanted to do. But I didn't realise that ordinary people could write songs until I was 15 or something. And 'cause I used to think you'd have to, understand all these squiggly bits and write it on a piece of paper rather than. And then some mates were in a group and they were playing a song, a tune. And I said, "That's brilliant. What is it?" And they said, "I don't know. We just wrote it." And it was a light bulb moment for me to think, oh yeah, I know you guys can't write the squiggly bits either. So, tape recorders rule okay.
Yeah, definitely.
What's a tape recorder, you probably ask?
No, I definitely still know that. I still know that.
Isn't it? It's what's CD now, isn't it? What's a CD? Who uses them anymore?
Yeah.
We stream it. It's all online.
Yeah.
You mean you went into a shop and bought music? Who does that?
You mean
Yeah.
paid for music?
Get it
Yeah.
all online.
That'll be
Paid
the
for
new
music,
one. What's
yeah.
a shop? Yeah.
That was a memory.
Right. So just very quickly. So Rebecca, you didn't kind of tell us who your kind of writer. So the other
really-
two gentlemen have said kind of it's not really one. Or it's not. So they've wimped out.
No, I'll
So
give
come
you.
on,
I'll
give
be,
us
mine
some-
is Leonard Cohen. I will do that.
that was
Look
great.
at that.
Yeah, I'll do
Look at
Leonard Cohen.
As
Yeah.
soon as you said the squiggly bits, I thought it's got to be somebody.
I know. I was thinking Dylan or
That's it. Yeah.
Um,
So what's yours,
Crosby,
Rebecca?
Stills.
Well, I didn't start songwriting till really late. I only started songwriting kind of 4 years ago. I mean, Eva Cassidy, and I know she hadn't done a lot of her own songs, but she was a massive inspiration to me. But this is a right curveball because we don't really do a lot of country. But it was watching the program Nashville, genuinely.
yeah.
Okay.
That it was the duos in Nashville. This is way before Ash and I met.
Salmon,
And them
whatever
sitting down and
it is.
songwriting together. I remember so vividly sitting there thinking, God, I wish I could do that. I wish I could write a song. And then the joys of a divorce later, it gave me inspiration for my first songs.
Yeah.
And I
That's good
started
for
writing it
inspiration.
as a cathartic process. I'd written kind of poems before, but I started to songwrite. I picked up the guitar and started to learn the guitar and started to write from that. But yeah, those two very different kind of genres kind of really inspired me that I was like, I want to do this. And I hope I can do it anywhere near as well as they do.
Yeah, well, the Nashville program, if you get the chance to have a look on YouTube if you haven't seen it already, the Bluebird Cafe did a
Yes.
sort of rounds where they had all the acts and also some of the writers who had written the songs for the show.
Brilliant.
And he's
they
going to
sit
show
in a
off now
circle
because
and
he's
they do it.
played there.
Oh, that's a dream.
What was that? I didn't hear
I
that.
said
like
you
to
played
go
at the
and do some-
Bluebird Cafe.
Oh yeah, the open mic. Yeah.
Of course I have. Of course, I'm only Andy.
Yeah. Well, so it was a dream. It was always a dream of mine to go to Nashville, but then play at the Bluebird was always a dream. Always.
Amazing.
But when you're scared of flying, it's not very easy to live that dream. Yeah. But I did get over it. So I'm just conscious of time. Let's hear some more songs and kind of we'll chat again in a little bit about kind of writing process and things like that.
So Echo first.
Is it us first
What?
this time?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I was thinking, what's he on about Echo? We haven't got any Echo.
I'm
No, it's
subliminally trying to put it in there, you see, Andy. Subliminally.
We'll
So
do
2K
it.
and Ryan, you'll go first this time. Two
Okay.
songs, explain the songs, and then
Yeah.
Steve will swap you straight over.
Fantastic. Also,
So we
Okay.
should drop us out. The floor's yours.
Okay, as it's been requested, we will play this, if I can remember it. This is the first song we ever wrote, and I think the sentiment speaks for itself. So this is a song called Echo,
Hopefully I'll remember the words.
hopefully, and the chords. Go on, Ash. Forever repeating moments, the rest is lost in time, captivated by the promise somewhere down the line. The wheels of fate are turning when we fail to see the sign. The wish is never granted, and the path is hard to find. When hope is all we have, just hold on to all you can. We can't let it consume us. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. When all seems lost and forgotten, don't lose sight of what is true. When surrounded by confusion, see the love that's shining through. You let them paint a label, and they've painted others too. They've taken what is special, and they've made a lesser you. This burning mark etched in your soul. The pain is real and there's nothing at all. Doesn't make much sense, but it's all we have. I hope you find your way back. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Yours I will never let go. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Your voice is like an echo. Nearly. As it's nearing its completion, the final pieces have been set. There's so much more to be discovered, though it hasn't worked out yet. The end is not yet written, and we're left hoping for the best. I am strengthened by your presence when it seems there's nothing left. Even though you couldn't see want to be, you can. Don't let them tell you different, however hard to understand.
We only got like one chorus.
Well, we were on the hoof with that one because we weren't going to do it, but I hope you enjoyed that, guys. But
Because it's obviously really long and there's a lot of lyrics to remember. So
yeah, that's our
I think we
excuse.
did pretty good.
We'll do one more. We'll save
You
little
did
time for
well.
later. Thanks,
Yeah.
Ash. Let's do She's a Dreamer because
Okay.
this is one you haven't heard, guys, because
it's a new one
it's
that
not
we haven't yet released
yet.
that
So
some of you may have already heard.
so we hope you like it.
And this is on.
And yeah, it's called She's a Dreamer. Interesting.
Don't know what's wrong with me today.
It's all cool. Every night when she went to sleep, through her half-closed eyes to peep, traveling the world to see the lights, dream of all the sleepless nights, daydreaming, she's daydreaming, daydreaming of a different life, of a different life. The scent of whiskey and red wine, as new encounters intertwine. She's dreamt of this her whole darn life, full of all the things she likes. But she's still dreaming, still dreaming, still dreaming of a different life, of a different life. It's up to you, you can change the order of the moments that happen if you choose. But it's okay to believe in possibilities. Maybe you could make them real to make them all come true. All it takes is me and you, an offer you can't refuse. Don't put your life on snooze. White picket fence and flower beds, hopes and dreams of newlyweds, gentle winds and running waters, soaking up the sunset's chorus. Is she still dreaming? Still dreaming? Still dreaming? She's not dreaming anymore. She's not dreaming anymore. Just a girl against the world, lives the life as it unfolds, making holy precious pieces to practice what she preaches. No need for dreaming, no need for dreaming, no need for dreaming when you're living in real time. When you're living in real time, it's up to you. You can change the order of the moments that happen if you choose. But it's okay to believe in possibilities. Maybe you could make them real to make them all come true. All it takes is me and you, an offer you can't refuse. Don't put your life on snooze. Cheers, guys.
Okay, fabulous job. Well done. We shall talk more in a minute. We'll drop you into the background and we'll pull Steve onto the stage.
Hi.
And then 2 songs, introduce the songs, and then we'll chat a little bit more. Oh, we got a mouth organ. We're going for a bit of Bob. Right, the floor's yours. See you in a minute.
Thank you. This is a song called Hummingbirds. When walking down the shore, your hands upon your hips, this old day feels good. Time was a cloud that danced upon the breeze, then slipped away like echoes of some forgotten prayer that we once knew. I said we should fly right now, laughed at me and said don't be absurd. It's moments all that matters now, drink it in and talk of hummingbirds. As this day went round and round, and the shadows spun among the trees and the secret signs between us two, and in a seaside town saw fishing boats upon the sands and herring gulls, souvenirs. I said we should fly right now, laughed at me and said don't be absurd. This moment's all that matters now, drink it in and talk of hummingbirds. And later that same day, in the holy place tween cliff and sea, we lit a fire, drank some beers, and swam into the dark, saw silhouettes of cormorants like twilight ghosts flying home. And I said should fly right now, laughed at me and said don't be absurd. This moment's all that matters now, drink it in and talk of hummingbirds. Talk of hummingbirds. Talk of hummingbirds. Take this truss off. It's extremely powerful. Oh. Excuse me. Never attempted that before, but there we are. Extremely powerful springs on that mouth organ harness. If you get your hairs of your moustache caught in them, oh, it brings terrible tears to your eyes. I would be in big trouble if I didn't play the next song, because it's the single from the band that's coming out tomorrow. It's called Western Requiem, and it's a song that finishes a sequence of 15 songs that we've written and released over the last 15 months, which is now out as one album. Tomorrow it's come out as 4 CDs up till now. And it's an exploration of the moonshine and the myth and the, quite frankly, the madness of the southern states of the USA. And it's about maybe those old films. Do look it up on YouTube and things, Western Requiem, and on Spotify. There's some, I can say this because I don't play the piano, there is some beautiful piano playing from Chris Lydon on it, and awesome guitar from Kev Moore. So Western Requiem. When the last buffalo was gone, medicine man has come and done. The pencil touches down, and the trail is westward bound. Geronimo has quit the show. John Wayne never made the Alamo. Ghost dancers dance in vain. Fires go out in summer rain. Rosalie, oh Rosalie, would you dance with me all night long at the desert's edge beneath a tree? Rosalie, oh Rosalie, would you sing this song for me? About the time that freedom called, you'd walk along with me. About the time that freedom called, you'd walk along with me. The man in black kneels down to pray. Bandit queen has run away, tearing up the old saloon. Mad dogs barking at the moon, but reach out the cold of crone, where the ghosts of the Mustang roam. Farewell to the best of them. This is my Western Requiem. Rosalie, oh Rosalie, would you dance with me all night long at the desert's edge beneath the Joshua tree? Rosalie, oh Rosalie, would you sing a song for me about the time that freedom called, you'd walk along with me? About the time that freedom called, you'd walk along with me.
Marvellous job. Well done, Steve.
Steve, can I just say, your songs I don't know, they just send me away. It's like they're like a lullaby. They're like a lullaby. I'm just like that. I'm just going, and I'm just being taken away. It's amazing. They're so good. So
I
good.
often get taken away, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Has the jacket got extra long arms? I find that. Yeah.
I work in a mental hospital, so I know that joke.
yeah,
Alright.
it's not in good taste. I'm a
Careful,
psychologist
careful,
too.
Ash.
I should be.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I knew I liked you.
Careful, Ash. She's got some of those jackets in the cupboard.
Patient and carer.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, other way around.
Let's not judge.
Yeah,
Let's not judge.
I had to hold myself back then. I had to hold myself back.
We can take
was
it,
that-
Sam, it's all right.
We
So
know
that
what your
sounded like a
weekends
12
entail.
string. So it sounded like a 12 string, or was it just a very cleverly 6
No,
string?
that is 12 string. Yeah,
Yay.
beautiful, isn't it? That
Mm.
is.
It is. Stunning sound.
This is what happens. You know, for most of my musical career, I had 2 guitars, acoustic one, and an electric one, and then all of a sudden, I bought a third. Never buy a third guitar. It's just financial ruin. I now have 12.
Wow.
What's
and,
that comment? They go, how many guitars do you need? Just one more.
Yeah,
Just one more, yeah.
I think the most
And
I've
you
ever
know why?
owned.
You see, people ask this question, like sensible people, and I say the thing is, every song has different. Every guitar has different songs in. You know, and that means something if you write songs. Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, this was in the guy that was bending that first guitar, and I went. He just finished making this and repairing the guitar, and I picked this up and played that riff, and it's a blooming expensive riff.
That's it, yeah. You touch it,
Worth
you
every
leave him with
penny.
it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Right, so I'm conscious
Yeah.
of time, so I want to get some more songs in because you know, if we don't hear at least 6 songs, we feel like we've not pushed you enough.
Yeah.
And your audience haven't kind of enjoyed enough. So we're going to ask you a question, and this is just a quickie question because we ask this of everyone. So Sam and I are avid songwriter, process songwriter kind of architect geeks. So we love learning about people's writing styles, process, all that kind of stuff. Well, I
Because
do.
we
I'm
both
not-
have
I'm not so
completely
sure about
different
it.
styles.
Yeah, we
Completely
do.
different styles.
Yeah, mine is control and ordered and structured. His is the other. His is
Chaos.
the other. Yeah, that's it. So, who did we ask first last time? 2K and Ryan. So we'll ask Steve
yeah, so
first
Steve.
this time. So Steve, talk us through. Do you have a common way in which you write songs? Do you start with lyrics first? Do you kind of start with melody? Is it all a mix? So what's your process generally?
It's all a mix, but I am I've got a kind of OCD about bits of music. Sam, you might identify with this. Bits of music and bits of words. So I keep everything. In fact, I finished a song with Kev, who's in the band, that I started writing when I was 18. So that's a good few score years ago the other day. Because I just cannot bear to throw anything out, which is miserable for whoever, you know, inherits the mess in my back thing. But it's that idea of keeping us. And I bizarrely can remember where they are. And I bizarrely can retrieve them, you know. And the other thing is I keep all the musical notes I keep on my phone. You know, nothing clever, just the vogue. And then all the written notes, well, a lot of them come from these treks that I was saying that I do. I keep journals of everything I do and everyone I meet. It's a bit, you know, so I'll sit down when I'm trekking. Not when I'm at home because, you know, the milkman came today as a song has been done. You
And
know,
the film.
Did you know
but-
my old man was a milkman?
yeah. No milk today. The cat has gone away. You'll now have to pay PRS for that.
Not at the moment, you don't.
For now, I was going to say for now. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's obsessive about keeping that, and also then you get this like little nugget, and you'll work it up, and you say, "Oh, I can remember that bit of guitar thing." New sounds on the guitar is a great way of starting. You know,
So
a
do you
new tuning.
sometimes sit
I'm
there
always
just with your-
experiment. I've not really done it tonight, but I'm always experimenting with different tunings.
So
So
you sound like you're a little bit
sometimes
like me.
you're-
You're a tinker.
You're
Yeah.
sitting
Sounds
there
like.
and playing the guitar, and that will sometimes influence something that then is words coming out.
Yeah, I'll just so I don't know if you guys. I was doing some gigs in the States and staying with this wonderful songwriter called Rob McHale, and he introduced me to the partial capo.
I've got two of them.
And that is revolutionised in the last 3 or 4 years. And
Do you
it's
get them
brilliant
cheaper
because we
'cause
go in
they're
the
only half
studio
a
now with
capo?
poor old Chris, who's my go-between between the inside of my brain and musical reality, and he's got to work out on the piano what the hell I'm playing. It's brilliant, but yeah, it's But I've started doing projects. So like I want to write a song about.
Okay.
And the other year, those old English folk ballads that go on for 20 minutes. I thought, wouldn't it be good to have a go at one? So I did. Yeah.
That only lasts 5 minutes.
8.5 minutes. It's
That's not bad,
permanently banned from the BBC.
They go.
And you
can
ask me
always
about
tell,
Enya. I tell you exactly why you don't hear it. BBC won't play anything more than 4 minutes long now,
Right.
which is really sad.
That'll be why I never get on. Yeah.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It's not really.
Terrible.
You can always say, they always say, you know a traditional ballad folk song because they sing the chorus after every single verse. And you go, if it's got 7 verses, that's a 15-minute
It's when
song.
you're at a folk club, Andy, and they start and they get to the last verse and forget it and start all over again.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I'll get it right the 3rd time. My God, what's going on?
Yeah, but I'd just say obsessive collection of ideas would be the root of my songwriting.
Well, and
Sounds
great
good.
as well, because you allude to something that we've talked about quite a lot. I mean, I did a songwriting kind of webinar a while back, and one of those things you hear is you've just got to write. Don't expect it to be fantastic, but you just got to write, and you've got to write and write and write and write and keep it, because you might come back to something. So I did something similar. A song I wrote when I was 18, I took the chorus and put it with a song I wrote probably 2 years ago, and it worked. And I was like, that's why. But it is the art of practicing. I think is so crucial.
I think so. I think too. When I was 17, I'd sit in my mum's back room with my friend Tim, and we'd write 4 or 5 songs in an afternoon. About the nuclear holocaust. Now Jenny broke his heart.
Because they go together.
And actually, I wouldn't know if they're any good or not. But like as the years go by, you kind of it is a craft.
I think it's
Never
definitely
underestimate
easier when there's
craft,
more than one of you. So, 2K and Ryan, obviously, you probably
If you
find
connect.
it easier to connect. Yeah,
if you
so
connect, yeah.
that's where. Yeah, let us. What do you think, 2K and Ryan?
I was going to say I actively sought somebody to work with for
Got stuck with
exactly
me.
that reason is just having somebody go, that is good.
Or that's
Do
really
that.
not good.
Or I hate it. I really don't like that bit. And I'm like, really? I love that bit. I thought that was the best bit about it.
Oh, that sounds so
sometimes-
familiar.
sometimes
Me
as
and
well,
Andy are
that's-
so like
yeah.
that.
That's part of the challenge, because sometimes you do have to go. You might not like it, but actually I dig it.
But we know as well, because we know each other so well now, he'll know by my face. I don't even have to say it. I'm like that. And he's playing something and I'm thinking, or likewise, it's great. But Ash will often come up with will almost always come up with a riff first for us in terms of our songwriting, won't you? And
Yeah.
then
I think I've learned not to be so precious about things in
sorry, yes.
more recent time, but I think we all suffer from that. Like, what? This is the best thing that's ever been written, especially when you're younger. And then as you grow older and you look back and you go, maybe that wasn't as good as I thought it was. And actually, I feel
I can
that what
see
I'm
the
writing now
emotional bruises.
is better.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the time it's being inspired by something. Like if I hear something, I'm instantly inspired by it, and I will, if I like it, will want to create something like it, but that I don't want to rip anything off. So
So I guess as
often I
someone
will
who
have-
is more sound production, that kind of thing, you'll pick up your guitar, you'll start playing some chords, and you'll think, oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah,
And then you
I-
kind of go, right, let's weave it into something.
Yeah, without stealing from somebody, it's like, how can I take, like, it will be more of a genre, like, oh, look, there's an Irish track, and you go, okay, I like that, I like the melodies present and stuff, let's try and write our own Irish track, where it's like picking apart, analysing the music as to what it entails, and then creating our own version of that, something that's actually as unique as possible, if that is possible. Yeah, and often that's when we sort of said with the eclectic thing before, that we try to take different elements of different musical styles that we like and put them into other things. So I mean, we've done sort of Latin stuff, and then there's the folky stuff. We've done the sort of rappy electro track and
A sea shanty, which
A
will be
sea
on the
shanty,
album.
so it does vary, but it does tend to be anyway. Getting away from the topic, it's generally being inspired at any one moment, picking up the guitar and coming up with something that has something, and then going, "Hey Rebecca, what do you think of this?" And then we usually sit down. And I always think, as a producer, it's better to sit down and write something acoustically so that you have an idea. You can write through production, but often, you don't really know what you're
it's a
creating.
Process then.
You'll be like, "I've written these chords. What should I be talking about?" But when you sit down acoustically, and especially if you have somebody to vibe on, I think you go, it feels like this song should be about, this.
And you'll often go, what does it inspire to you instantly? What's the first thing that comes to your head when I play this? And sometimes that comes really easily to me, and other times I'm like, if I've just come home from work and he picks up the guitar and goes, "Rebecca, listen to this," and I'm like, I've just been restraining children who are really not very well, and now I'm trying to hang on, let me get my head in the game and to do it. But often... But then there are times where we're exactly on the same page, and then it comes really quickly.
At the same time,
Rebecca,
we try not
could
to
I ask you a question? Have you ever written a song about your experiences at work?
Yes, I have. I wrote
it's
very
hard,
few
isn't
songs. It is hard, but it's a song called Black Dog, which speaks for itself really. But no, I wrote it. I think it was I'd been at the hospital about a year and a half. I work at St Andrews in Northampton, and I was sitting with one of the young people, and she was actually she'd had a terrible day, and she was doing a maths exam, because I'm a teacher there. And and as she was doing this maths exam, it just came to me, and I wrote it. And it's probably one of the songs that I've written on my own, and there aren't a lot. I've only written about 12, 13 of my own, that I'm most proud of, because it's so dear to my heart and close to my heart.
It takes courage to write that.
Well,
People seem to like it. I haven't played it for a long time, but it's a song that means a lot to me, and the kids that I wrote it for really liked it when I used to play it for them, and that really touched me.
And you say only written 12 or 13 songs. That's pretty good going. So I know a lot of people who kind of have probably got a million pieces of paper that they've screwed up and thrown out because they go, "Oh, it's
He's
just
taking the mick out of me now."
I'm not saying that they're any good, Andy, but I've got 12 or 13 there. We are doing a challenge next month. I don't know if any of you guys would be interested in it. I don't know if you've heard of something called FAWM, FAWM. It's February Album Writing Month. It's online, and you get songwriters from all over the world, and the challenge is to write an album in a month. Now, some people submit 2 songs.
If you'd have told me that was January, I'd have been done.
Andy's just done his first
Now I've got
album.
to start again.
You could pretend. The problem is you've said this on camera now, so you can't pretend they're all written in February. But,
He's got enough to write about 5 albums himself. You're laughing, but it's true.
They set you challenges, and apparently a couple of our friends have done it, and apparently it's a really supportive environment for people and people from all kinds of different genres and walks of life. But you submit something, and it's normally people just do like a guitar and a vocal on SoundCloud, and then people comment on it, and I think it could either be a very humbling experience.
I think that's probably going to take us out of our comfort zone, which is mainly why we're doing it, to sort of, if you've got to write that many songs in that short space of time, often we have inspiration, but I think we will try different approaches. Like one I've never really tried is melody first, or something like that, or pick up a different instrument, like if you start with bass instead of guitar or piano, or lyric, and then or a poem.
But when you look at the likes of Leonard Cohen and McCartney, McCartney was famous for going, myself and John Lennon, we knew we had to write 6 songs. So we would say, right, we're going to give ourselves a 3-hour period and we need to come up with 3 songs. And they would literally sit there and write 3 songs. They would engineer those songs. And Leonard Cohen would say, whilst all the people sit around waiting for inspiration to come knocking, I have to turn up at the studio and force, 3 or 4 songs out. So I am a firm believer that you can engineer things. You just have to have a right framework to lead you towards the inspirational point where you go, now that's it. That's where it's coming from.
Yeah, I agree with that. completely.
Yeah.
I think when again coming back to the when you're younger thing, or when you first start as a songwriter, it's easy to create lots of stuff because you've never done anything. And I think this is the thing, that the problem that artists that haven't written very much get shot to stardom, and then they hit the brick wall, and it's like, well, I don't know what to write now that's different to what I've already done, and they often either overcome that brick wall or they disappear because they can't create something different necessarily.
Well, it's full of cliches that they've never experienced before and stuff
Yes.
like that. And you go,
Yeah,
you know.
so I think with your approach, which I think is correct, if you have the tools there, you can find ways to overcome that wall and actually try. And you know, all the rules are there to be broken. You know, so keep an open mind. I think. Yeah,
well, I
try
mean,
different things.
sometimes when I write a song, I'll treat it like I'm writing a movie scene or a book or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'll say, if I get my sort of elements of the story, so I get the bit of the journey,
Yeah.
then I go, now what I need is I need the actors, I need the actresses, I need the scene. So if it's going to be in a bar room, I'll think, well, what's in a bar room, and how do I create the mood? Where's the mood
Yeah.
coming from? Is it sawdust on the floor and things like that? And you almost get all the elements, and then you go, right, now what's it telling me? So things like that, you know, that kind of architecture as well. You know, people kind of go, I want to be inspired. You go, okay, well, while you're waiting, do all of that bit, and then something might jump out at you, which inspires you, you know. But it's interesting how different people approach the writing process. We've got a guy on the chat, I don't know if he's still here, Mal McWatt. He's released some fantastic stuff in the last year and a half. But his writing process was sometimes he'll just pick up his guitar and he'll start just playing something, and then he'll almost just start to sing words, and he'll just go, I was walking down the road and things like this, and it'll come in that kind of sense. I think that's great, you know. So I've tried that a few times, and it's surprising what comes from it.
Yeah.
So, you know, something quite different, and that's the point. You know, the thing I like about your Spotify is there's quite a variance, and I would almost go, the danger is when I write in the same way, the risk is it starts to sound the same, you know, just in the tempo, in the beat, in those sorts of things. So actually sometimes you almost have to step out of that and go, well, let me listen to a very different style of music, let me listen to different kind of lyrically different words and those sorts of things. So, you know, I think there's no right one way. We know that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, sometimes it's not getting trapped in just your way, you know?
Yeah,
Which is hard, you know. Right, okay, so I think let's crack on, because we're almost kind of at 9:30, and it would be great. So if you don't mind kind of staying just for a little bit longer,
No, not at all.
it would be great to get another couple of songs, and then what we'll do is we'll just finish with helping everybody work out where they can find you, connect up with you, albums they can buy, things like that. All right?
Fantastic.
So who went first
Steve's
last time? It
turn.
was Steve, wasn't it?
No, we went first last time, so it's Steve's turn.
Yeah, it's Steve's
So Steve,
turn,
you're going first.
Okay. Yeah.
So grab your guitar and get yourself ready.
G-tar.
We shall drop into the background, and then 2K and Ryan, you'll be on in about. Well, if he does a traditional folk song, you'll be on in about
Yeah, I
25
can play you
minutes.
American Woodlands. That's
The
half an
20-minute
hour.
epic. isn't it?
Right, we'll see you in a
8
minute.
minutes.
The floor's here. The floor's yours. Yeah.
Okay, this talk there about writing songs. This is about as spontaneous as ever I've written a song. Though even then I could feel it was an undone job that's hanging around and needed doing. The undone job was to write a song about England. I mean, the Scots have great songs, the Irish have millions of them. There's one or two Welsh songs about saucepans there, Rebecca, I know. But there don't seem to be many great English songs. Anyway, in the first lockdown, I had two of my kids living with me for a while, and it was when the NHS started clapping. And I'm quite not really thinking this is a real thing or important thing. And then they said, no, you've got to come. And I remember going to the window, opening the window, and I live out in the sticks in a village. And I was unbelievably amazed to find that all these people who across the village and out into the village, but I could hear them clapping and cheering. And I just remember thinking, that's a good thing about this place. There's an awful lot of rubbish. We have some wobbly leaders, but sometimes we do things right. This is my land without wars or boundaries. This is my England, is it yours? This was born in the farms and foundries. This is my England, is it yours? A stranger finds the front door open and a welcome at the table, and one and all will meet again just as soon as we are able. The ebbing tide I can't swim over, but our fortunes will renew. When kindness blinds the fears and darkness, I'll be coming home to you. This is my land with the right to good health. This is my England, is it yours? Where we believe you can have too much wealth. This is my England, is it yours? These empty streets, these lonely highways, now echo in the night. The sound of love to someone crying will hold a better light. In our green hills and streams and rivers, where gentle waters flow, in who we are from every nation, well, watch this spirit flow. The house next door, the cliffs of Dover. This is my England, is it yours? From a Cornish lass to a Hexham drover. This is my England, is it yours? From a Baltic cook to a Chinese trader. This is my England, is it yours? From the refugee who said this land saved her. This is my England, is it yours? This is my England. Thank you. That song's called This Is My England. And we actually recorded it in the lockdown and on an iPad, sent it to my my friends, and we just put it all together. So I'm going to finish this one with another. I seem to have got myself in a slow, reflective mood. I have to say, most of Steve Bonham, the Long Road songs, are not calm and reflective. They can be occasionally, but we were talking there, Ash, about living by a canal, and I have 56 tons of rusty narrowboat called Emmeline on the Oxford Canal, and I was motoring her down I was 3 or 4 days motoring on my own, and getting towards the evening, sunlight was going down, and I on the side of the bank there was a girl just looking into the water, and something about it was kind of strange. It didn't quite make sense, and you couldn't tell, her she was in kind of hippie gear, but it could have been from any century or anything. She was just there. Anyway, Emmeline, if you don't pay attention, steers straight towards the bank at the slightest bit of notice. So, I suddenly had to right the boat and then bring her back on course. So when I looked up, she just vanished. And so I wrote this song. Goodness knows what it's about. It's called Blues on a Summer's Day. Jenny, she is waiting for the setting of the sun. She's been contemplating how the race was run. The bird flies high and cries some. Clouds drift by and hide some. Jenny, she is waiting for the setting of the sun. Don't fly to Georgia, don't fly to Spain, don't go chasing galleons along the Spanish Main. Knight in shining armor, cowboy in the hay, when you're feeling lonely, with the blues on a summer's day. Old Mill Pond, he's like a thief a-calling from the great beyond. Golden chains and silver floating down the river. She sees a strange reflection in the old mill pond. Don't fly to Georgia, don't fly to Spain, don't go chasing galleons along the Spanish Main. Knight in shining armor, cowboy in the hay, when you're feeling lonely, with the blues on a summer's day. Jenny bends her steps to the curving of the road, feels a little darker, as if the clock had slowed. The haunted touch that binds her, forgotten note that finds her. Jenny bends her steps to the curving of the road. Don't fly to Georgia, don't fly to Spain, don't go chasing galleons along the Spanish Main. Knight in shining armor, cowboy in the hay, when you're feeling lonely, with the blues on a summer's day.
Brilliant job. Well done there. Well done. I like that first tune where it had a kind of almost like a little dark feel to it, whilst it was traditional. And then that second, the second song was again quite different in style. So it almost kind of felt like he was going a little bit from kind of what I'd call more typically folk to kind of a bit around Americana type folk.
Yeah.
So it's a good contrast. Right, okay, we shall chat in a minute. We'll bring 2K back on, so we'll see you in a sec.
Just 2K.
Floor's yours.
Just 2K, yeah. Just 2K.
Oh, is it?
Right.
Okay, Ryan's been dumped. Okay, apparently.
All right, again. Story of my life.
All right, okay, 2 songs, and then we'll chat in a minute.
Awesome. We're going to do a shameless plug now because our latest single is out tomorrow on Spotify. I would love you to listen to it, hear the fully produced version. And
We are going to
it's
talk
a
about
song
that in a
called-
minute. We are going to talk
Okay.
about that. Don't worry, don't jump the gun.
It's a song called Anyway I Can, which we actually wrote a few weeks before the first lockdown. And yes, it's kind of country folk, and we hope you like it.
Okay.
Ash is tuning, bit of tuning.
Okay. Put new batteries in my tuner, so I'm using it a bit more now.
Here we go. When you're ready, Ash.
Okay. Though it's something so familiar, and I've seen it all before. I'm seeing colours for the first time, though I've been this road before. Driving on, driving on, driving on to where it all began. Now I'm finding all the pieces assembled here in my hand. It's up to me now to find my promised land, and I know it might be hard, but I will get there if I can. Any way I can, any way I can. I get there if I can, any way I can. To where it all began, any way I can. I wanna be a better man. This road is long and winding, but I know I'll reach the end. And now I've left my past behind me. Try to catch me if you can. Driving on, driving on, driving on to where it all began. Now I'm finding all the pieces assembled here in my hand. It's up to me now to find my promised land, and I know it might be hard, but I will get there if I can. Any way I can, any way I can. I get there if I can, any way I can. To where it all began, any way I can. I wanna be a better man. This life is over in a moment, and I don't want these feelings inside. If you want to keep a heart that's open, you will find no place to hide. So many words unspoken, tried to keep myself from thinking, but when the cracks they keep appearing, I couldn't keep this ship from sinking. Driving on, driving on, driving on to where it all began. Now I'm finding all the pieces assembled here in my hand. hand. It's up to me now to find my promised land. And I know it might be hard, but I will get there if I can. Any way I can, any way I can. I get there if I can, any way I can. To where it all began, any way I can. I wanna be a better man. Any way I can, any way I can. Any way I can, any way I can. Any way I can, any way I can. I wanna be a better man.
And we're going to do another fairly new one for you to finish, if that is okay, because we think it's really quite pertinent to what's going on at the moment. And anyone who's felt any pressure to be something they're not, even if it's pressure from yourselves that you put on yourselves, we hope this one resonates with you. And it's a song called What Comes Next. Anything less than perfection is something you'd never accept. My life here was laid out before me for the child you are meant to protect. Taking time to breathe again. Taking time to believe again. Over and over again, I've been trying to be who they told me to be, when who I am is more than enough. I need to be free to be me. I just want you to be proud. I want you to see who I am. But you judge me by your expectation when you fail to see the man. Taking time to breathe again. Taking time to believe again. Over and over again, I've been trying to be who they told me to be, when who I am is more than enough. I need to be free to be me. When all is said and done, will we cherish the scene that's before us? Together we can stand as one, and there'll be no hard feelings between us. Taking time to breathe again. Taking time to believe again. Over and over again, I've been trying to be who they told me to be, when who I am is more than enough. I
Nice one, everybody.
Yeah, beautiful.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, two.
I
Two
feel like
great
I'm sinking
songs.
into this bed. It's because I've got one of them memory foam mattresses, so I seem to sink and then you can't get back up because it's sunk.
Well, that's what it's remembering. It's remembering that you're
It's
sinking
remembering me
into it,
big
so
ass
it's
is what
doing
it's
the same.
remembering.
It's probably what many
Right.
people are calling lockdown arse.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
yes.
Yeah. Right, Sam, over to you.
Yeah. So everybody, where can people find you? Like your stuff, download your songs, all that jazz. So, Steve, over to you. Where can everybody find you?
If you just search Steve Bonham and the Long Road, you'll find most things. But on Facebook, that's probably a good calling point. We're on Spotify and Apple Music and those kinds of things. YouTube, the videos are nice. If you like a good video with your song. And the last one for Western Requiem, I'm really pleased with. It's come out really well. So yeah, Facebook. It's actually Steve Bonham and the Long Road, Vagabond Way.
And if they want to buy a good old-fashioned physical CD, have
Yeah,
you got
go on
those?
the website.
What's
Go on
that?
Steve Bonham Long Road website, thevagabondway.net. Yeah, if somebody bought one, that would be great. Actually, can I do a little advert? Because might be an idea for you guys too. What we've done for the new recording is we've actually written a book, a really nice book, and it's got all the free download codes and things on the back, but it's the stories behind the songs and the story of the band, the story of the treks that were fed into it. Because we feel that these days, without albums and stuff, there's no backstory to any music. It just sits on a 2 dimensions. So we've tried to think, well, at gigs, that's probably a nice thing for people to take away and do have a look at it.
That
It's
is
called
a
the
clever idea.
American
That
Wilderness
is a very
Odyssey
clever idea, yeah.
Companion.
I do like that. It's a
I
good
like
idea.
that. I might have
we've
to
worked really hard on it
incorporate
over the last
that.
3 weeks. Got more
I
time
might do that
these
with my
days.
CD when they arrive. So did you say it was vagabondway.net?
I did.
All one word, vagabondway.
Vagabondway.net, yeah.
Cool. There we
So
go.
if
I'll
you do
just post
send us
that so
everything, we
people
can
have got it.
post it. Yeah.
I'll
Just
give you
about
the
that.
whole. There's a little, a ditto thing that's got all the links on there.
Cool. Okay. Brilliant. And how many albums you got now? 17? 18?
Well, no, I mean, we've got 2 albums from the band, and then we did the Legacy, which was 4. We released for a year as 4 EPs, which is 1 album. And then if you go back in the past, well, yeah, there's stuff like, don't dig
Yeah.
too deep, because I probably don't want to remember it. Yeah.
Okay. So I put it in wrong. It's thevagabondway.net.
And
Well done,
what are you
Christopher.
doing?
Well done, Christopher. I went on the instructions I was given.
That's from the boss. The bishop's on the line, is he?
Yeah. Okay. So if you've liked Steve's music, if you liked his songs, then go on his page. Even if you just connect up with him on Facebook and stuff like that as well, it all helps. So please do that. Please check it out. Carry on. Sorry.
Yeah.
What
So
was I doing? I was interrupted.
he always interrupts. I get like this. I got.
Oh, of course not. Okay,
I'm the
don't do it.
picked on one. I get picked on. No, I'm joking.
As in-
So, 2K and Ryan, where can everyone find you and buy physical CDs and stuff like that?
Find us in similar places, and we are 2K and Ryan, but it's and spelt and as opposed to
okay.
the ampersand. So
Yep.
2K and Ryan on Facebook, Instagram, and the like. I'm looking at Ash in case I get it wrong. You can also find us on Spotify, other streaming platforms as well, but we are really trying to build our profile on Spotify, so we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a follow on that. And again, that's 2K and Ryan. And we have a new
and they
single
do
out
come up
tomorrow
fairly
called
fairly
Anywhere I
easily.
Yeah,
So-
very, very easily, yeah. Even
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
ask Alexa, very quickly.
Well, I've been trying to train Alexa. I bought Alexa deliberately a few weeks ago because it didn't recognise us at all, and I just keep saying 2K and Ryan to her. So I think we might have convinced her that we
I didn't
exist now.
quite get that.
I didn't quite get
Here's
that.
a playlist of people, I don't know, some random stuff.
But if you wanted to buy a physical CD, we have 2 EPs out, Echo and Pages, and you can get those on our website, 2K Records.
You can obviously buy them through the digital distributors. 2K Records. It's again, if you search 2K TU-KAY records, it's TU-KAY or 2KRecords.co.uk. But again,
If you want to post it in the
search,
chat, that'd be great,
Yeah, we'll
because
do that.
last
You
time
may
I
find
tried,
it.
I
Do
got
it
it
now.
wrong.
Yeah,
got it wrong.
and we have a shop within that. We've yet to sort of create more 2K and Ryan merchandise, but we are 2K Records. It's our company, so 2K and Ryan is a product of that. So if you buy anything from there, you are supporting us in what we do as performers and songwriters, and as the recording and the production that we do as well. Not just for us, but for other songwriters as well.
And as I would always say, in these days of streaming and stuff like that, you kind of realise how tough it is for an artist to make a living when you stream stuff, because they get virtually nothing unless they get 1 million streams.
Yeah.
So actually buying a physical CD,
Helps out the
even
artist a
if
lot with that.
you're going to listen to it on Spotify or something like that, sometimes that just supports the artist,
Yeah.
or donate to them or something like that, because all of that helps. I mean, a CD, when you send the money to somebody for a CD, well, at least 60 to 70% of it's theirs. When you go to Spotify, unfortunately, it's probably 0.5% or something
Yeah.
like
If
that.
that, yeah.
I was reading
Not
into
as
this
much
the
as
other day, and they pretty much decided, apparently, when it became a sort of thing, how much they were going to pay artists. And I think there's a sort of war going on for artists against these distributors or streaming platforms to actually up the amount, because I think it's just, for anybody that doesn't know, it's less than 1 unit
That's
of a
right.
cent, but not just a little bit less. Like
It is less.
0.00001
or whatever it is.
Yeah, 157 or something.
Yeah, and
that
it
you get
doesn't
per
help
stream.
when the
Yes.
record companies are supporting it.
Yeah.
Going,
Wow.
actually, you
Yeah.
don't need to change it. Leave it as it is. And you're going, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Because obviously it works in their favour.
Yeah, of course.
There was somebody that worked it out based on what it used to be, that if you sold X amount, you would end up with a good wad of cash. And he said, well, how many streams and stuff do I need to get to quit my job and do it full time? And it was, I can't remember what it was, but it was something like 900 streams a minute or something to actually be able to do it full time just from streaming. It was
I know.
ridiculous. So look it
I
up,
know, it's
because it's
bonkers.
really interesting.
Let's not talk about it anymore, because it depresses us.
It's depressing.
So what I would always say is try and buy a CD or just donate
Yes.
as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
because that's the money then goes to the artist.
Absolutely.
And it's hard enough as it is. At the
And it's
moment.
even worse now, because obviously we can't all get out and...
And if you buy 6, you've got a set of coasters. That's what I always
Absolutely.
say.
And ours come plastic
No.
wrapped, so they're
So you could
easy
throw
to-
them? You
COVID
could throw them
safe.
as frisbees?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it, yeah.
But
Yeah.
doing nights like this with you guys is just brilliant, and thanks for running this, because it's been, I've watched some of your others as well, and you've got some amazing artists on, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
And when
thanks.
people like you
Thank
run
you very
stuff like
much.
this, because it gives us a platform to play as
Yeah,
well. So
thank you.
Well, we always
Thank
say we specifically go out to try and find people who we would kind of value as songwriters
Yeah.
and things like that. So there are a lot of people who are, reasonably successful that we wouldn't have on, because we don't credit them with the songwriting capability that some of our other artists who are, from just starting out to putting out their first kind of EP and things like that. We always want to make sure we get the quality of the songwriting as well, because that's what we're driven by. So
Yeah,
it's great that you agree to come on, especially as you're giving up to 2.5 hours now of your time. I mean, the thing is, we hope that it's been relaxing enough, that you've
It has.
enjoyed it, that it's been kind of
It's
good
definitely
fun,
relaxing,
been
Andy. I'm lying on
worthwhile.
my bed.
You
I
always
was kind
are.
of hoping, Sam,
Then
that
we
we would
get up.
come to you at one point and you'd be asleep.
This is really
on
good,
the
Sam. I mean,
So
normally
relaxed.
after a gig, you've got to get
You
in
do
your
that.
car, you've got to drive home. You've just got to pull the covers up.
I know, it's great, mate. I'm done tonight. Do you know what? I used to stream in the living room, but the light in there is so bad. I mean, this isn't the best here. But and he's like, get one of these little circle things. I was like, no, I'm not getting a circle thing. And I was like, oh, sod this. I'm going to move everything into the bedroom. I'm isolated, but then I'm comfortable. But I tell you something, don't have a memory foam bed because you cannot move. Once you've sung, can you try? You're like, but it is fun.
So that's kind of it. I think we're pretty much done. So we are horrendously over time. We don't normally kind of go this far, but I think we've had a fantastic chat. It's been great.
Thank you very much.
Being able to kind of
lovely.
chew over
Thanks
songs
for
and
having us.
writing and things like that. So we wish you all the best for however long we're going to be in this kind of nightmare of a lockdown. We hope you're out gigging and producing and getting into pubs and clubs and all those kind of things, festivals, as soon as we can be. So any last words of wisdom, Sam? Remember, the answer is always no.
All I want, well, not always, but what I do want to know, are you going to play a song tonight, Andy? Are you going to play us out?
I wasn't planning on it, no.
Oh, he's lying.
Just because I wasn't. It's only
Unaccustomed
here
as I
because
am.
if something goes wrong, we have to kind of get in there. But I wasn't planning on it, and we're kind of running late as it is.
No, come on, you've got to.
Go
You've got
on,
to.
Andy.
It's
We
how it
don't
works.
mind.
It's
Play us a song, Andy.
how it
We'll stick
works.
around.
One of us
If you
start,
we'll
one of
just
us end.
cut it.
What? Oh, dude, seriously. What more am I going to play? What am I going to play?
Oh, do I get to choose?
Yeah, as long as it's something I can actually
Be
play.
kind, Sam.
That's, yeah. You always choose either the newest song that I can't remember or something like
No,
that.
you know which one I want. I really want your mum's song about the letter.
Oh, twice
'Cause
in
it's-
2 nights?
Do
I
it,
don't care.
Andy.
I love that song.
Right, okay. I might do
See,
this double
even D
time,
from
so-
across the pond has said yes, please, Andy.
Okay, I shall crack on with this, and then we shall be free to depart and do whatever else we've got planned for the evening, our parties and booze and all that kind of stuff. So this is a song that I wrote about my mother, who kind of passed away when I was about 18.
Oh, if everyone can quickly mute themselves, sorry, while Andy plays, then he. Cheers.
We'll leave you in.
Yeah.
Laying down in the grass, looking up at the sun, I'm taken to a place of serenity. Many miles in between your heart and mine, but I still feel you here with me. Picture of a younger you in a life before me. You don't look like you're much more than 23. Not a line on your face, you're a picture of grace. And I wish I'd known you way back then. You're here with me now, as you've always been, even though it's been a long, long time. While the memory fades, the heart don't forget, and I'm sure that we'll meet once again. Until then, your memory keeps me company. Tucked inside of a drawer is a small piece of you, a birthday card to me from you before you went away. A message that you left inside to my darling love mom, and it's lived in there since 1989. I sometimes talk to the clouds and pretend that it's you, with your angel wings, gold label tell you what you want to hear, that I'm doing fine. Then I gently watch you drift away. You're here with me now, as you've always been, even though it's been a long, long time. While the memories fade, the heart don't forget, and I'm sure that we'll meet one Monday. Until then, your memory keeps me company.
Nice one, Andy.
Oh, there we go.
Absolutely beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It was. Again,
bashed
it was
the
like
guitar
it
twice.
was your one that you played at the start, Sam. Again, that one you can hear just really subtle accompaniment just to really lift that. But I'd love it. It's just really great songwriting and really nice sentiment. As
Careful
well.
what you wish for, because I might come to you and say, you know, you said.
Do it.
Do it.
I
There
would.
was that
I would take
arrangement.
great
What is
pleasure
it?
and honour in just taking what's already beautiful and trying to, if possible, make it a little bit more beautiful.
Bless you. Thank you very much. I mean, I do. I always say I'm not great with melody, because I always write lyrics first.
Less is
So
more.
I tend to write lyrics.
Mm.
Less is more. This is
Beautiful.
I'm guilty of doing too much, but it's just nice,
Beautiful.
you know. And for anybody that knows what it's like to feel like
You
that.
made me go. I lost my mum at 22, and you literally, I was having to hold it together because I knew I was on camera. I was like, don't cry.
Well, to be fair, the first probably 7 or 8 times I tried to play it, I kind of like got about halfway through, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Too hard. It's only because I've played it now probably about 60 odd times that I can make it all the way through.
Yeah.
Still one song I can't finish to sing in my own about my stepdad. I just can't do. Just
Yeah, the key is just play it at home and keep playing it, and then at some point you get past that point where you go,
Yeah.
I'm good, I'm okay, I can do it. Listen, right, I'm going to let you go because we are now almost in danger of adding another whole hour to the session, which is not great. I mean, we're notorious for going over by about 5-10 minutes, but not this late. I mean, that's just... but it's been an absolute blast, a real pleasure. Thank you again for coming on. And at some point, we'll start to kind of bring people back again.
Yeah.
So if you're up for it at some point down the road, we'd love to
Definitely.
get you on. Or one of the other kind of things that we do, because we do some other
Love to.
streaming stuff as well.
and if you know anybody else, hang
Oh,
on
we
a
do.
second. Me.
He's got reverb on.
Sorry, me system went a bit crazy. If you do know anybody else that could be interested, send get them to send us a message, and
Well,
we'll have a look, and if we can fit them in, then we will fit them in.
Yeah, yeah. We
Definitely.
definitely know some people we can send you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool, good. Okay, well, wave good night, everybody. Thank you very much as well
Nice
to
to
our
meet you, Steve.
audience.
Pleasure. Cheers.
As
Thank you very
always,
much,
thank you very
guys.
much
Thank
for
you.
engaging with us,
Yeah,
and
take
we
care.
shall see you in a month's time.
Cool.
I'm not even going to say who's on because I can't remember.
I've got
But
somebody,
I've got it somewhere.
but I just need you to try and get hold of him.
Oh yes, I've got a guy from America.
You've got a guy from America.
That's it. Okay, free to go. I shall drop our guests out from the session to allow them to
Thank you once
depart
again.
and go and get their alcohol or whatever fix they've got. And then we'll end the session, and we'll catch you next month.
Yeah.
I will post details of who the acts are and stuff like that. But thank you very much for engaging. Take care, stay safe. See you soon.